How is everyone doing tonight? I am a couple minutes late. I already see multiple people in chat. Uh, not too happy with me for being late. I apologize. But I was 2 or 3 minutes late. I am here now. Um, I wanted to make sure I was fully set up, ready to go. So just earlier, 2 hours ago, I did my fantasy draft. It is a Pokemon Fantasy Football League. If people have interest, later in the night, I will recap how that draft went, who everyone drafted, who all is in the league. If nobody has interest in that, we can skip that. But for tonight, I did have a topic at hand. I do have a little bit of a spiel, a little bit of a rant that I want to work through. I titled it, actually, my seat right here. My wife was right here next to me while we were doing the draft. But what were you up to? Says Maki. Maki is one of the ones. Oh no, I don't have my highlighted chat ready to go. Let me fix that very quickly. Maki is someone that is in the fantasy football league, the Pokemon Fantasy Football League, which I'm very excited to do. There we go. I've got the highlighted chat ready to go. So thank you, who for calling me out, being here. Checks, Skya, E-Unit, another person in the league. Must be roster baiting. I love the league. It's been so long since I've watched the league episode, but great show. Love fantasy football. We got Brody Plays. We got Ernesto. Hopefully we won't make him jump, but he probably will. Damn Dan looking right. We got Shug Nasty, Drew P also in the league. BB also in the league. We got Hoot here. So I'm gonna address a little bit of the drama of the week. Every week it's something. One ironic thing. I need to cover the irony. So on my video Monday, every Monday 1 p.m. for the past a year and a half, 2 years, however long it's been, I have done a video. And my video this week was, you need to calm down. I borrowed a little bit from Taylor Swift, her song title. I borrowed the sleep mask that I was wearing in the thumbnail. That came clipped off of, using Canva, Taylor Swift's sleep mask in the start of that video. But there's been a couple things, like, ironically, I almost recorded a video for Monday. So I recorded that video like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I did a little bit of family traveling last week, and I was a little bit busy. So I recorded ahead of time. I actually have Monday's video ready to go, but I think I need to re-record it because some of it is like expired. Some of it, time passes, and certain videos don't age well, don't make sense. My video for Monday is talking about like a new bank account, all this stuff. But anyways, the You Need to Calm Down video was recorded like 2 weeks in advance. And I almost delayed it. I almost recorded a new video titled Scalpers Are Ruining the Hobby. Instead of doing that, I made a live stream. But what I was going to do in that video was address the world's controversy. This feels like it's one of the topics that comes around every 6 months to a year. Back in 2020, 2021, it was very prevalent. It was very common. And basically all it is, like so many things that I say, so many things that come up over the various weeks and months, are adults who are not affected by anything, or at least not affected in any material way in their life, are just crying about what other adults are doing with their money, with their items, with whatever. And it's like, if someone wants to buy an item and sell it for more, so much of our economy is built on that. So much of our hobby is built on that. I don't understand it. I don't get why it needs to be a big thing. Every 6 months to a year, it needs to perk back up. We need to have grown men, grown adults, grown men, grown women crying and slinging mud at each other, complaining about these things. It's like, if you want something and someone's offering it for sale at a price you deem reasonable, buy it. And if not, don't buy it. Like simply, as long as we're not talking about water or shelter, or like, I am on the same page. I'm on the same side. If a hurricane is coming through your area and someone is going through and they're buying out Walmart, Costco, Target, wherever, they're buying out all the cases of water and they're trying to scalp, they're trying to like, just like something needed for survival. If people are trying to capitalize on that, that is bad. There are laws against that. There are like things against that. But if someone's buying Pokemon cards, if someone's buying backpacks and playmats and sleeves and skateboards, if someone is buying these things and then charging some obscene premium, don't buy it. Don't buy it. If something is there available and you are interested in it, buy it. If not, don't buy it. That nothing more needs to be said. One thing, like, so many videos have been made. I watched a couple. I didn't watch them all, but so many videos are made around the morality and this and that and the other thing. It's like, it's funny how many times all the things will happen. Like at the higher level, you've got the people playing with the marionettes, pulling the strings, and oftentimes they just leave unscathed. Like think about it. Think about it deeply. I've watched a few videos and I didn't see anyone actually address the fact that if Pokemon wanted to, and by no means am I faulting Pokemon, if Pokemon wanted to, they could mass release all World's merch. They could make a ton of money. They could list all the Hawaii merch, all the World's merch on PokemonCenter.com, and people would buy it, and they would sell tons of money worth of stuff. Let me actually pull this up so I don't forget. So, highest grossing media franchise. We again, just like all the drama, just like all the other things, it's like a seasonal thing. Seasonally, people will remind you how Pokemon is the highest grossing media franchise of all time. I haven't heard it said in a few months, so let me remind you, let me refresh you on that. Some people don't know this though. Let me see if I can quickly and easily get this pulled up here. Window capture. I don't know if this is going to pull up the right thing, but hopefully it does. Chrome. Here we go. So Pokemon is the highest grossing media franchise of all time. And I think one thing in our space people don't realize is that Pokemon makes most their money. So look at the yellow. We don't need to see me here. If we see me, that's fine. If we don't, that's fine. The yellow is merchandise. The orange is trading cards. I'm gonna estimate it. So yellow takes us to over 60 billion. And then so yellow takes us to over 60 billion, and the orange goes maybe from 78 to like 88 billion. So 10 billion in trading cards and over 60 billion in merch. Pokemon makes most their money in merch. So when people say like, and I love PK, but one part of his rant that I heard, one part of PK's rant that I heard, if Pokemon were to hire me, I would just tell them to make 100 times of everything, 1,000 times of everything exclusive. Pokemon knows what they're doing. They are literally the highest grossing media franchise of all time. There are a few, if I pull that back up. So, to be fair, Hello Kitty merch alone exceeds them. Winnie the Pooh, Mickey Mouse, they exceed them in merch alone. So there are some media franchises in merch alone, they exceed them. Pokemon knows what they're doing. Any economists out there, any people very big into like the economy and how that the profit maximizing strategy for a monopoly is underproduction. Pokemon knows this. Pokemon has a monopoly on the intellectual property. That is all copyright is. That is all intellectual property is. It is a mechanism to sustain a monopoly over certain intellectual property, over certain copyright for a sustained duration of time. And Pokemon has a duration over Pikachu. Pokemon has a monopoly over Pikachu for a fixed duration. Pokemon has a monopoly over Charizard, over Quaxley, over all of our favorite characters. And they know how to handle it. I promise you. They know how to handle it. They hire a lot of people who make a lot of money that have led them to selling over $60 billion in merchandise. and over $10 billion in trading cards in the past 2 decades plus. So people will say like Pokemon should just print 1,000 times of everything. They should just print. If everyone could get it, I promise you, the truest of collectors will have an issue with this. The truest of collectors will not believe this. If everyone could get it, less people would want it. I'm not saying no one would want it. You out there, the listener watching right now, taking offense to what I'm saying, you are the truest of collectors. You would want it. If it all went to zero, you would buy it all. I believe you. I don't really, but I believe you. But less people overall would want it. Pokemon by design underproduces World's merch. Pokemon by design fails to reprint Evolving Skies booster boxes for the 5th time. Pokemon by design makes certain items run on the secondary market. So every time we go shopping at PokemonCenter.com, every time we go shopping at eBay.com, at our local LGS, at Walmart, wherever, every time we go shopping, in the back of our mind, there's a little bit like investment potential, Evolving Skies, Team Up, all these different things. Like, I might make a lot of money here. They intentionally keep things exclusive. They intentionally make it like Rudy, the whole game pieces, that whole conversation that Rudy has. It's by design. It's by design that they underproduce demand because it makes more money in the long term. If they meet, or worst case, if they surpass demand on too many items for too long, overproduction will kill any TCG. Will kill any, not even just any TCG, any item. If they made going all the way back to 1999, if they never retired any set, if they never retired any t-shirt, any backpack, any playmat, if they never retired anything, and you could buy everything going all the way back, Pokemon would be dead by now. Pokemon would be dead and over and gone. If you could buy at retail Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Crystal, if you could buy all that at retail, if they just kept producing to demand everything, it would be over, it would be done, it would be gone. I did not hear, I heard some drama videos, I listened to some, I read some Discord, I read some whatever. I didn't really hear anyone say that. Let me catch up on chat a little bit. This is like drama topic number 1. Drama topic number 2, I feel like is just less, I don't know. And there are certain names out there, and there are certain people being like focused on, I'm not going to try to like bring names into this. I'm not going to try to bring anything into this, but like, again, I'm going to keep the names out. Certain individuals were called out. They bought exclusive items that were available only at that place, only at Worlds, Hawaii 2024. They were called out for like buying them and then selling them back home. Geographical arbitrage, platform arbitrage, whatever you want to. I mean, I've bought from eBay at a discount and then sold on TCG Player. I've bought from TCG Player at a discount and then sold on Troll and Toad. That's a thing that happens. But it's just demonized. It's just demonized in this situation, and certain people have been called out for like buying something at a fixed price, regardless of what the price is. And I feel like fake prices were thrown out there, unreasonable, unrealistic, not like prices that didn't happen were thrown out there as like a straw man to make it even worse. But ultimately, it's like someone bought something and they're trying to sell it for more money. Buy it or don't buy it. Don't cry about it. You don't need it. It's not water. It's not shelter. It's not any of these things. How much do you think Pokemon paid? Like this plush back here. Oh no. I lost my Quaxley. This plush back here, this isn't a sitting cutie. I forget all the tiers of plush. Like sitting cutie is the lowest in Japan. I think they're called like the Poke Fit plushers. They're like $15 or $16. This is the next level up. I think this was like $25. Like I'm a big guy. I have kind of big, like this thing fits in the palm of my hand pretty easily. This thing is tiny. This thing is small. I love him. This thing is awesome. I think it was worth the $25 I spent. This was probably $25. What do we think Pokemon paid for this? Pokemon paid less than $1 for this. I can almost guarantee it. I don't have the invoices. I don't have the receipts. I can't show you. Like, Pokemon probably bought 50,000 of these at $1 a piece or $2 a piece, like tops. manufactured, like all in cost, and they're selling them for 25. Is Pokemon not scalping? Like, are we gonna call out? Why do we call out the people making 4 figures, 5 figures, 6 figures, maybe some make 7 figures in Pokemon? Why do we call out the people that make 4, 5, 6 figures in Pokemon and not like, and by no means am I telling you Pokemon is evil, Pokemon is wrong. They offered this for $24.99. I gladly paid it. I'm a happy consumer. I'm a happy collector boy, Dan. I'm happy to have had this. But like, Pokemon can mark that from $1 to $25. No one bats an eye. Pokemon can sell $60 billion in merch over 25 years and no one bats an eye. Someone tries to make a few $100 on like all my whole business is Pokemon. My whole business is buying wholesale, selling retail. My whole business is buying at some percentage of market, selling at some higher percentage of market. My whole business is buying at some percentage of market, grading, selling at full market. What are we talking about? Like, what are people even doing? It blows my mind how this needs to be rehashed every 2 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years. Like, why do we need to do this? I'm gonna catch up with chat a little bit now. I'm gonna try to, but like, I just don't get it. I'm on the side of capitalism, I guess. Some people are very anti-capitalistic. It's evil. It's like, how else do you want to divvy up? So only 50,000, 10,000, whatever the number is, I don't know. Only a fixed amount of Quaxleys will be produced. Through what means do you want to divvy up that fixed supply of Quaxleys? Through what means do you want to divvy up that fixed supply of Moonbreons, Evolving Skies, whatever it may be? I think capitalism is reasonable. Do you want to rank everyone on like how true of a collector they are, and do you want to allow every person to have the opportunity? Well, Hawaii is only going to produce 1,000 of the skateboards, or I don't know what the number is, 750 maybe, 750 of the skateboards. The truest of true collectors should have the opportunity to buy them first. And it's like all these means through which people think that this like fictional dream world can exist, that we can divvy up these finite resources. Like, ultimately, if you point the finger at anyone, you should point the finger at Pokemon. But I'm saying, as a rational human being, don't point the finger at them, because they're smart. They are doing what they need to do. If they made like 7,500 might sell, 10x skateboards might sell, but if you manufacture 10x for every item for every year, you will overproduce, you will inundate, you will overwhelm the consumer base. At some point, you will do too much and you will kill it. You will kill it all. Underproduction is the profit maximizing strategy for any monopoly, and Pokemon knows what they're doing. So by design, like Pokemon makes a fixed amount and they release them in batches, and they keep people ordering and they keep people interested. Pokemon could, I promise you, Pokemon could produce enough Pikachu sitting cuties. Let me see if the Pikachu sitting cutie is in stock right now. Pokemon could produce enough Pikachu sitting cuties to have in stock forever. Right now they're in stock. So right now Pikachu sitting cuties are in stock at $16.99. They could produce enough of them at 25 cents a piece, at 50 cents a piece. They could produce enough of them so it would never go out of stock ever. But that doesn't make sense to do. One, you've got like all the carrying cost of all that inventory. You've got all that work in progress. You've got all that whip. You've got all that stuff that you don't just-in-time inventory. I'm getting back into some of my engineer terms here. Watch out. You don't want to have deep quantity of inventory. You want to moderate that. You want to modulate that. You want things to go out of print. You want things to be inaccessible. You want people to question, when will this go out of stock? It might be out of stock at any time. I need to buy it today to secure having it for me. But yeah, I've said it multiple times now. Let me actually catch up with the live chat. But let me actually catch up with the live chat. Then I'll go on to the next bit of drama. At some point late in the night, I will probably recap our live fantasy football draft that we did, because that was a blast. I shouted out a few people who were in there at the time, who are in the draft that I saw early in the chat. But yeah, let me catch up. Let me see if people think I'm crazy, if people think I'm way off base here. I've got my live chat and my other chat backwards. Here we go. So my lateness was unacceptable. I apologize. Who Maki is going against. So Maki is someone who is in our league, and she's going against Mrs. Ketchum week 1. So good luck. Good luck. How many IPAs? I've had 4 juice bombs, and I have 3 all-day IPAs next to me. Full disclosure on the amount of alcohol I've consumed. I've had 4 juice bombs, but before that, I did have 1 tall boy pounder. I had a Myers Creek something or other. I don't remember. So I'm on number 6. I'm on number 6, and 1 was a pounder. Full disclosure. Why is arbitrage an issue in 2024? I have no idea. Just don't buy. Buy BUY or BYE is the answer. Calm Down was a good video. I appreciate you. What are your thoughts on only buying stuff? Say the market is buy one, get one free. I don't know what you're saying here. What are your thoughts on only buying stuff? Say the market is it's buy one, get one free. Letting the sales guide your diet as a business. Buy one, get one free is a scam. I mean, people just mark things up and then mark them down. That's how is Hello Kitty number 2? Hello Kitty's number 2. I feel like Hello Kitty being number 2 is less surprising than Winnie the Pooh being number 3. But to be fair, Winnie the Pooh was made in 1924. Mickey Mouse was 1928. One thing I don't know. So let me pull this back up. Is this thing inflation adjusted? Like when it says 92 billion for 1996 created Pokemon, does that mean 92 billion in raw dollars? Or does that mean if 1 billion was spent in 96, that counts as 3 billion in 2024? I think it's raw dollars, but I'm not positive. Cause like I don't know the numbers, but like if 100 million was spent on Hello Kitty in 1980, that is worth many hundreds of millions in 1924 dollars, right? I don't know though. How can the hobby continue to grow without the FOMO people in the crowd? FOMO is a huge part. Underproduction, hype, demand, FOMO, scalping, like all these things are needed. Yes, if Pokemon made everything too available, people would cry. Oh, I bought all this stuff. I thought it was going to be worth a lot of money, and now it's not. Pokemon 1000% cares. So some people will say over and over, Pokemon does not pay attention to the secondary market. I promise you, Pokemon has people paying attention to the secondary market for booster boxes, for merch, for everything. I guarantee you, Pokemon doesn't just accidentally meander its way to $92 billion in sales. They have economists, they have financial minds, they have all this stuff on the payroll. I guarantee you. Like, I don't know how people say I don't think Pokemon cares about the secondary market. They 100% fully know. This is not a new thing. This is not brand new. Pokemon saw Worlds last year. They saw Worlds the year before that. We had a 2-year break with COVID. Pokemon saw Worlds before that. They know that exclusive stuff will sell out. You think Pokemon, like, behind me, you can't see it now. If I go here, maybe you can. The 5,000 serialized Master Ball, Pokemon could have made that unlimited. Pokemon intentionally limits some amount of product because it is by design, it is intentional, it is to make, like, Pokemon is a business. They're trying to make the most money possible. How some people think they don't participate in, at least, like, paying attention to. They don't sell into the secondary market, but they pay attention to the secondary market 1000%. People need to focus on getting rich instead of all this market BS. Oh, man. If it all went to zero, I'm investing in it going up again. Dan said it. We're all true collectors, everyone. I'm rich already. That's the thing. I got no soul goals now. You sell one $3,000 black label and it changes a man. Patreon is not full. There's no cap, I don't believe. But the $5 tier might be filled up. That's like a grandfathered in. That's a grandfathered in thing that does fill, but the $10 tier should be wide open. Let me double check. I don't think if Jake has it set to where we can't get new members, that would be pretty wild. I'm logged in there. Let me go to one that I'm not logged in on. No, there's 209 spots remaining at the $10 tier. The $5 tier is sold out. That's the grandfathered in tier from people that have been in it for years. My goalpost is attached to a SpaceX rocket. Always moving the goalpost. We love to see it. Serialized cards are inevitable, in my opinion. They will come. It's just a matter of when, not if. Pokemon has already done serialized Master Balls, serialized wristwatches. They've done, actually, cards, not TCG cards, not proper TCG cards, but they have done the serialized Bear Walker cards, 1 out of 750, 1 out of 500, 250. I think some of them are different. But what if collectors are the real evil ones and scalpers are just innocent people trying to support their families? I mean, I'm all for that, Alex. I'm fully on board with this this whole take here. Was overprinting the reason why Pokemon died after 2001? Pokemon didn't die, clearly. Pokemon was injured badly. Pokemon almost didn't come back. But it's a very hard thing to navigate. Basic, I know who I'm talking to here. Basic caster. Metazoo, I believe, was too harshly judged for their navigation through the market that they lived in. They lived in a very difficult time. It would have been very difficult to navigate printing the proper amount, because one thing I've said time and time again, I'll continue saying it forever. Metazoo got hated on for printing too little, artificial scarcity, stonking, all this stuff. Like, oh, they only made 2,500. Oh, they only made 25,000. Oh, Nightfall, they only made 50,000. 100,000? That's too much. 100,000 Wilderness, 100,000 UFO, that's too much. After crying set after set after set that it was too little, too little, too little, make more, make more, make more, Metazoo printed itself to death because they listened to dummies. They listened to dumb consumers, dumb, whoever the hell, the dumb people saying that Metazoo needs to print more and more and more. And smart people out there, and some people really hate him for it. Smart people out there like Rudy told them, you need to really tighten up on print runs. You really need to watch that. You need to be careful. TCGs will die in this era by overprinting. Rudy forecasted it quite well. I mean, if he was even smarter, he wouldn't have dealt with Metazoo at all, because he would have seen the leadership didn't have the stones, I guess, to not print too much, to not fall into that greed cycle, whatever it was. But very interesting how people went through that Metazoo thing where, like, you're printing too little, artificial, and then, oh, well, you printed way too much. Like, people just Monday morning quarterback it as if it's so easy. You need to do this thing so far ahead, and it's very hard to navigate the proper, appropriate amount of print run to not sink your TCG. It would be very tough. Justice for scalpers. Oh, man. Harder to understand what you're talking about when you don't use names. I feel like anyone who's engrossed in the drama knows exactly what I'm talking about and who I'm talking about. And anyone who's not, they wouldn't, if I put the names out there, and I feel like Brandon's mostly memeing here, but if I put the names out there, the people who don't know wouldn't know anyways. It's like I would say the names and it wouldn't help them. So the people who know, the people who don't know wouldn't know anyways. So yeah, I think I'm fully on board here. Dan was Scalper defending 2 years late. Oh, I remember. I guess I'll throw this name out there because it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. The whole Frosted Caribou, the whole King Pokemon, Frosted Caribou, that whole back and forth, that whole weird thing. That was like season 1. We're on season 5. We're on season 5 of Scalpers now. Scalpers are evil, killing the hobby, this, that. Why can Pokemon sell a 10-cent plush, 25, 50-cent plush for 20 bucks? But if someone buys a card for 50 and tries to sell it for 200, so Pokemon is 20xing. or more, like 20 or 200xing. If it's 10 cents to 20, I don't know what the exact number is. Say it's 10 cents to 20 bucks. That's a 200x. Why can Pokemon do that and sell $60 billion and one random market participant is trying to make a couple grand? Pokemon's making 9 figures. 9 figures is $1 billion. 10 figures is 60 billion. Wait, no, right? 11? A billion is 9 zeros. So yeah, 60 billion is 11 figures. You've got 9 in just the zeros, 10 with the 10th zero, and then 6. 6 and then 10 zeros. You got 11 figures Pokemon is making. And they get off scot-free. And I'm not telling you to go, this is not me telling you to go after Pokemon. This is me telling you, demonstrating how silly it is to go after individuals. Don't buy their stuff. If everyone is on the same page, that their stuff is overvalued, whether it's over the years, it's been, this person is breaking that box too expensive. This person is selling that item too expensive. Don't buy it. If everyone agrees with you, no one will buy it. They will have to lower their price, or they'll have to eat that cost. And if the market disagrees, it's like yelling at the clouds over modern boxes are too expensive. And people do this all the time. Modern boxes are too expensive. Vintage should be way more. Trophies should be way more, way less. Like whatever you think should be higher or lower. If you think it's too low, buy it. If you think it's too high, sell it. If it, like, that's all you need to do. Like let other people do what they're gonna do. The market is the sum of everyone's individual opinions. As long as you're not lying, cheating, stealing, as long as you're not doing any of those things. And the ironic part of me saying that statement, the people throwing stones at the scalpers are lying. They're straw manning. They're making up fake sales numbers. This person bought this card at this price. No one, and I'm not, like, I haven't reached out to the affected parties. I don't know exactly what they paid. I was at Worlds 2018. I was at Worlds 2019. I was paying more than $100 for staff cards. I was paying $100 for the packs. I was paying like $100 plus for the staff cards. Staff cards are not going for $100. So like, yeah, it's interesting. It's a wild world out here, but it gives us things to talk about. I made my video on Monday. You need to calm down. All these things will happen. There will be people going live. There will be all this commentary. There will be all this drama. Like, literally, one thing happens. A market goes down. A market goes up 2%, 5%, whatever it is. Something will happen. Thousands of hours of content will be generated explaining what happened. And then tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of hours of content consumption will occur off that content that happened, explaining what happened. Like, most of the time, it's line went up, line went down. I'm gonna make up these reasons as to why it happened, but I have no idea. Like I made the point, the Japanese yen carry trade, the market going down 5%, 10%, it's like, if today the market was down 25%, it would have been so obvious that we were headed there 2 weeks ago when we fell 5%, 3%, 5% in a day. But now that we haven't done that, it's obvious that we didn't do that. It's like, it's so mind-numbing. It's so crazy. It's just wild. Let me continue on. Arbitrages are good in my book. Dan squashing Quaxley to death. Let's see. That's a full-size plush. That is just a giant. What are they paying you to pump up Quaxley? If I had a Pokemon Center affiliate link, I would pump that thing. Literally, I'm pumping it without an affiliate link. If I had one, how hard do you think I would pump that affiliate link? Like, I wish I would get one. Pokemon Center, please reach out. I will be your biggest shill. Walmart is scalping fruits and vegetables. We should boycott. Yeah, I just paid $3 a gallon for milk at Walmart. They are scalping. Like, who are you? Who are we to set what is the allowable amount of margin for a product to make? Like, I don't know the number. I have a solid suspicion towards what the number is in the ballpark. But like, Pokemon sells at full retail on their website $165 for a booster box. What do you think their production cost is for that? I would bet a large sum of money, a very large sum of money, that it's less than 10% of that amount. I would bet a large amount of money Pokemon is spending less than $16.50 to print and manufacture a booster box. Shipping, logistics, all that stuff, fulfillment, they have more into it. But like actual raw production cost that they pay to Millennium Print Group, that they pay to the other printers, I can almost guarantee Pokemon is making like more than 10x in gross margins on their products. Why is that allowed, and why is it not allowed for other people to do? When your PS5 comes out and they're selling out for $600 is retail, secondary market goes for $1,000, just be patient. Just wait. It's like, you don't need this stuff. Just wait. Patience is a virtue. It will help you throughout your life to be able to just wait, calm down, breathe. It will all be fine. Let me continue on. Pokemon cost of goods sold data behind the Pokenomics Discord paywall. I wish. So Pokemon is owned partially by Nintendo, or like, I forget exactly how the relationship works, but it's a Japanese company. Some amount of this data you probably can find. I wish they were a fully S&P 500 American-based company, because it would be much easier. I would know the terminology. I would know the documents to look at. I would look up the Pokemon 10K filing. I would look up the Pokemon K1, K2, all those things. Like, I believe it's K1, K2 now. I haven't looked at one of those in a long time. Let me look up KO, K2. KO, Coca-Cola. Is it a K2 or a K1? I don't remember what all the forms are called, but like a whatever the financial document, 10K filing, 10K is maybe what I was looking for. Whatever the financial filings are, it would be amazing to be able to see and extrapolate and figure out exactly what the cost of goods sold are on all of Pokemon stuff. And maybe you can. It's all in Japanese. It's harder to read. But yeah, it's wild. It's some amount of people punching up for clout. It's some amount of people, it's just their whole design. It's their whole nature. Again, draw a line in the sand, pick your side, division, rabble. We need to divide, conquer, fight. I'm not all about that. I guess I'm drawing a line in the sand between the rational, logical, calm, reasonable people and the people that feel the need to get so embroiled in all this hate and drama and all. Like, why do we need to do that? Please. Yes, everyone cares too much, gets too emotional, stay in your lane. The irony of that, I understand the irony of me saying the drama is too much and making a title, Scalpers are ruining the hobby again. I'm not saying names. I'm not trying to get response videos. I'm not doing response videos. But I appreciate the irony of me saying all this stuff up on my high horse as I'm commentating on drama. Like, I do appreciate that irony. It's not lost on me. It's only possible. At 6'4" 3/4", there are very few people I can punch up at. At 5,000 subscribers, there are very few people I can punch down on. I mean, at least people that I know, people that I run with in this space. Most people have a bigger channel than I do. Pokemon scalping plushes needs to be its own video delivered in a serious, unironic tone for the LOLs. Yeah, I mean, it is funny. Like, but let me go on Pokemon Center. Let me just stroll through Pokemon Center and see how they get at their $60 billion. They have a 35-inch plush for $65. They sell t-shirts. Like, I buy t-shirts. To be fair, this is a New York Jets Fanatics t-shirt. I do Fanatics consignments if anyone's interested in that. Let me get that little plug in there. But so I do wear, the most expensive clothes I wear are usually Fanatics clothes. They're usually Pokemon clothes. But like, Pokemon sells t-shirts for $25-30. They're producing those probably in some like near sweatshop conditions overseas. And let me see. Let me, before I say that, I already said it. Made in China. Pokemon is selling a t-shirt for 25 bucks. I'm actually like a pretty big Murica guy. Like, Pokemon, you're selling t-shirts for 25 bucks. Can't you make a little less margin and employ some domestic US employees, manufacturing? Like, I'm actually decently big on buying stuff quality, made in the USA, all that stuff. I'm actually kind of into that. And Pokemon's here selling t-shirts that they make for 25 cents a piece or less for over 100 times what their manufacturing cost is. And people are calling out people because they buy a $25 shirt and sell it for 50. Buy a $25 shirt that no one needs and sell it for 50 or 100 or whatever. Like, who cares? Who freaking cares? What are we doing? Let's see. Yeah, PokeNE, you are 100% the guy to do that. Please do that. Pink sunglasses, all in, do it. Anyone know how I can earn my true collector card? I don't know. If you find out, Alex, let me know. Let me know. Dan's the kind of Monopoly player that keeps his properties at 4 houses so no one else can build houses on theirs. That is, yes, cornering the houses market in Monopoly, intentionally not upgrading to hotels so no one can get houses. That is 4D chess in Monopoly. I love that. I love that strategy. Let's see. Yeah, if you're in here, you are not like the truest of true collectors. The truest of true collectors do not live in a Dan stream for sure. I'll never look at your background the same after seeing Quaxley next to your face. 5 beers. Jesus, Dan, it's a Wednesday. I talked to my boss. He said I'm fine. He said I'm fine to come in a little late tomorrow. How many Jets? I have the Jets defense, and that is it. Brad, I should have tagged you in Discord when we were doing it. We were doing it live in Oaks Discord. Shout out to Professor Oaks Discord. If anyone wants to join it, maybe a mod can link it. Great Discord, great people in there. Graciously, he let us have our live voice chat in there while we were doing our live chat. 2 Jets drafted in the first round. That is scary. I don't think that has happened ever. I did not draft Breece Hall nor Garrett Wilson in any of my leagues. I think they're overvalued, overrated. I do not think they will perform to be a first round value. But like, I say all that and I hope they do. I hope they do for sure. He's buzzing, make him spill all the plays. How do you feel about businesses buying Pokemon 151 UPCs to resell into the market at 1.8 times and not allowing the public to access them? I do that. I have some amount of 151 UPCs that I bought wholesale, and I am not selling at retail. I did not sell them at 120 retail. I did not sell them at sub retail. Some people do. I'm not selling them now. I do not have a single 151 UPC listed on any platform, and I have over 100 of them. That is allowed. I'm taking some amount of risk. They are my property. I have no need or requirement to sell them. I bear the risk if they were to go down or whatever. And one thing that is interesting. So one interesting thing that an investor does, by their nature, an investor lowers the price for future collectors. So short term today, investors might likely increase the price. But over the short term, investors increase the price. Scalpers, investors, whatever, increase the price. Over the long term, though, investors decrease the price for collectors. So me, being the amazing human being that I am looking out for my son. I'm looking out for your children. I'm looking out for the collector of 5, 10, 20, 50 years from now. I am transporting hundreds of modern sealed products from today, from tomorrow, from yesterday, into the future. If I did not do that, there would be less sealed product in the future and the price would be higher. Like, all else considered, like, this is factual. The more people that are investing, transporting product from today into the future, sealed, the cheaper it will be in the future. If everyone is investing, it will be a bad time for everyone. The reason that I'm investing today is because I think even though there are more people investing today than there were 4 years ago, 8 years ago, I think there will be enough people opening this product in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years that my investments will return well over time. We got Mason. I'm gonna quickly look at the live chat because I feel like I'm gonna get some people with this, but like, think about it logically. It's actually true. It's actually correct. So anyone who invested in base set unlimited booster boxes years ago, 25 years ago, if everyone opened all of them, there would be very few left. The only ones that would be left would be the ones that people forgot about, lost, whatever. The fact that some people kept a pallet, the fact that some people believed in it long term and kept case by case, like cases and cases and pallets. Boxes are 14 grand today. If all of them got opened back then, they would be a lot more than 14 grand today. Well, like, this is just plain and obvious conversation. If Pokemon were to die, I bear that risk. If Pokemon dies in 2 years, 5 years, I bear that risk of losing a lot of money. But if Pokemon lives and succeeds and is here in 5 years, I time capsuled. My dad and myself time capsuled that one pallet. We are transporting that pallet 6 years into the future. And if Pokemon is dead, we bore the risk. We lost all our money or most of our money. If Pokemon survives, us having that product, investing in that product for 6 years, we lower the prices on that product. That's just that's literally the way that it works. Like, there's no way around that. No, I was not the guy hoarding toilet paper, bottled water, face mask, sanitizer. I did not make those plays, though. I feel like some people in some of the discords I'm in and some of the people in this chat might have called that a play. I did not call that a play. But like, if anyone wants to hop on, call into Discord, I'll put you on screen. If anyone wants to refute the fact that someone investing in Pokemon makes it cheaper for future buyers, I'm here to have that debate with you. That is just a plain factual statement. Whether PokeNE has 20 cases of a given product, Rusty has talked about setting back 30, 40 cases of certain products. I've talked about setting back 10 to 20 cases of certain products. If we were to not do that, if we were to simply rip through all that, prices would be higher in the future, right? Like, if we're transporting sealed product to the future, we are dampening the future prices for that sealed product. We are increasing the supply down the line. Absolutely, we are short-term increasing the price, but like, our intent is to sell it in the future. If you buy from me, like, on a small time frame, if you want to look at, I could do a case study on evolutions. I had dozens of cases of evolutions. I bought them at like 80, 90, 100, 120. I sold them at 150, 250, 450, 500. I didn't sell any at like 700 a box, 1,000 a box. I sold them all before that. But like, I sold a lot of people boxes at 200, 300, where I could have otherwise sold them like cheaper. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna keep ranting more and more on this. I feel like it's fairly obvious. Let me scroll back up and see where we're at. Let's see. Dan about had a heart attack because 2 Jets went in the first round. Absolutely. Been buying up 151 Pokemon Center ETB cases. I'm a huge believer in ETBs, but do you think a set also having a UPC attached to it could put a lower ceiling on the item? I don't like ETBs as much. I've definitely played with them a little bit. Just the air. Watch my investing video. Watch where I talk about building a pallet. I have some amount of ETBs on that. Like 151, I like the Pokemon Center ETB more because there's no booster box. I like the ETB more. I like the Pokemon Center ETB more. I like the UPC because there is no booster box. But like, if the booster box is there, even though sometimes 3-pack blisters, sleeve boosters, check lane blisters, depending on the promo, sometimes other things can have a higher rate of return. If you are talking about investing in those things, putting in 10 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, it's hard to sell 100 grand worth of three-pack blisters. It's relatively easy. I just the other day, like literally 3 weeks ago, maybe, I had more Twilight Masquerade than I realized I had. I had like 30 cases or whatever. I decided it'll probably be reprinted someday. I don't know for sure. I have more than I thought I had. Let me just sell 10 quickly. I sold 10 in a day or 2 days on eBay. I listed them $5 or $10 below a list. I listed them at a hefty profit for me. I sold 7 grand, 6 to 7 grand in sealed cases of a booster box in a day. And no one blinked. No one thought anything about it. No video was made about it. It was just business as usual. If I were to sell or try to sell 7 grand in check lane blisters or in sleeve boosters, not that it would necessarily be like but it would be more of a thing. It would be significantly more of a thing than if it was booster boxes. So like booster boxes are the standard product. Let's see. Talking about the highest IP grossing media franchises. Gotta catch 'em all is literally the rally cry of scalping / gacha mechanics. Yeah, like Pokemon. When people cry about, and again, I'm not trying to demonize Pokemon. I love Pokemon. I love everything they do. I'm a DJ gambler at heart. But like, Pokemon is selling $5 booster packs to children that are chasing 1 in 1,000, 1 in 2,000 pull rate cards. Like, what are we talking about? We're demonizing people who are making a couple grand, a few tens of thousands, like, we're demonizing these people when Pokemon is literally printing 12 billion cards and building a scratch-off ticket for children. What are we doing? I am fine with Pokemon. I'm fine with what they're doing. It's just funny, the juxtaposition of what is demonized and what is like fair play. It's like all the people up here pulling the marionette strings, and then all of us brokies down here we're fighting each other down here, while the rich, like the printers, Pokemon, PSA, all the selling platforms, like all the grading companies, all the selling platforms, they're all up here just like cackling. Every time they see a drama video, a call out video, these people pulling the marionettes are just cackling. Like, oh my God, they get off scot-free. It's wild. I love it. Will we be allowed to bet? Absolutely. Side bets are always allowed. Off topic, but I need your opinion on all the test print cards randomly hitting the market. I call BS personally. I think it's a #1 hat from SpongeBob vibe. Almost every time these things come out, the first ones go the highest and the latter ones go lower. Like the Disco, the Cosmos bait, like all these different things, they almost always like follow a certain trajectory. I do not value any of them as highly as the market has thus far. I know that there was a shout out Slab podcast. There was a video that has since been deleted. I don't think it's coming back, but there was a deleted recording of the guy who sourced a lot of those cards. He even said, out of the horse's mouth, the guy who has provided the market through CGC grading, he's provided the market the majority of the alpha, beta, test prints, whatever you want to call them. He said there's more than one copy of like all of them. So I would push caution upon anyone trying to invest, speculate. If you have a ton of money, if you have buku bucks and you're just trying to collect and you have, like, who cares? Buy the species that you need. If you need that Charmander, need that Ditto, need that whoever, who cares? But like, if these are meaningful amounts of money to you, I would caution people investing. I can't say that they're guaranteed to go down, but I would speculate the first copy will be here, the second copy will be here, third, fourth, fifth, and then at some point in the future, like, I think they'll go too high, too low, and then they'll kind of climb from there to some extent. That's like a very on the fence, very frequent price trajectory for like a lot of these cards. That's my thought on that. See, Mason is one that says like, oh, MetaZoo had it so easy. They were born into the hype, born into the pandemic boom and all that. As crazy as it sounds, people won't believe it. People won't comprehend it. That is a harsh market to be born into. MetaZoo was born into. They had an unfulfilled Kickstarter. They printed 2,500 Kickstarter boxes and they didn't sell them all. They printed 20,000 Cryptid Nation first edition boxes and they went to like $1,000. They went insane. And then people were crying. They printed 25,000, I think I said. 2,500 Kickstarter that didn't sell out. 25,000, they went to the moon. So then they printed 50,000. Nightfall, 50,000 boxes, went to like $400 or $300. I don't remember exactly. So then people were clamoring. Dummies were clamoring. 100,000 boxes, 200,000 boxes, more. So then they reprinted second edition. And they printed 100,000 Wilderness, and they printed 100,000 Seance, and they printed 100,000 UFO, or maybe 50,000 Seance. Maybe they dropped 4, but 100,000 UFO, 100,000 Wilderness, and it killed them. It killed them. Overprinting, greed, whatever it was. Too much listening to the people telling them to print more. When Rudy was saying be careful, when reasonable, rational people were saying be careful, I think it was a great time to be born into. If you wanted to do like make a bunch of money in a short duration and then leave, which some people claim MetaZoo was a rug, but like some people claim that, some people think that. I don't fully believe that. I think they would rather be around today than not. I could be wrong, absolutely. But I think MetaZoo would have had a better time if they launched in 2017 than launching as they did, of being around 5 years later. I think to launch year one, day one, in that boom, it was too much and it killed them. My take, one person, who cares? Aside from overprinting, what's the most plausible way you think Pokemon could jump the shark? Overprinting, I think, is like the one way. I don't think... I don't know. I feel like some people get so rational, so irrational, so emotional over like the latest video game was terrible. These new Pokemon are terrible. They're not for me. A key, a vanilla ice cream scoop. I'm a vintage boy. I'm a Kanto guy. I'm kind of on their side to some extent. But I think some people get too emotional, too irrational, not realizing that it all doesn't need to be for them. Like my wife is a teacher. Every year she has more and more kids that are into it. I think they're doing a really good job. They just printed 12 billion cards last year, the most ever. They're doing like Scarlet and Violet. The sales numbers are up there out of all time, higher than Diamond and Pearl, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, higher than a lot of the different sets, a lot of the different eras, and everything is like solidly priced. So I think the biggest way they could jump the shark is to give into this scalper mentality and just overprint everything and make nothing exclusive and make nothing valuable. I'm not worried about that though. They've been around. They've been there. They've done that. They almost died after the overprinting, after the overhype demand. Pokemon almost, like going back to Mason's comment, Pokemon almost killed itself with overprinting in 1999 to 2002. Pokemon was not selling boxes for $40 a box. Like old sets, 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old sets were barely selling for $40 a box. That is how close they were to killing themselves. And thankfully they didn't. Thankfully they're around today. Thankfully 80 of us are here live tonight talking about this right now. But Pokemon very well could have overprinted themselves in that first pass. People love to Monday morning quarterback it like it's easy. Dan, as he Monday morning quarterbacks. Absolutely. Yeah, she's still absolutely around. Let's see. Yeah, like, how about a video from one of the drama tubers about the exact correct perfect way for everyone to enjoy this hobby? I feel like on a live stream like a year ago I made this analogy, and I think it's fairly apt. I think some amount of people, myself included, were here in 2014, we're here in 2016, 2018, 2019, and we liked our local hometown band. Like, we had a local hometown band. We would go down to the local bar, the local brewery, the field days. We would watch our band play our favorite songs for $5. We loved it. It was available. It was there. It was easy. And then they got popular. And then they started selling out the local, like, think of the biggest venue in your county. They started selling that out. And instead of $5 a head, it was $20 a head, $25 a head. And then they went like, they went statewide, and then they went national. And now to go see your favorite concert, your local homegrown hometown band that you used to watch at the local venue for $5, you used to watch them. Now they cost $100, and you're upset because you used to be like, you were in it before it was cool, and you used to be able to enjoy it the way you wanted to for the price you wanted to. Capitalism. That's the way that it is. There are a finite amount of seats. There are a finite amount of booster boxes. There are a finite amount of Quaxies out there. And money is the way that we have deemed like how we're going to divvy up these limited resources. And don't say you want them unlimited. Don't say your band should play everywhere all the time. One, they feasibly can't. Don't say 10 billion Quaxies should be printed. Because even though everyone does want one, if everyone can have one, then they don't want them as much. Let's see. Dan, let's get these viewer numbers up. Drop names. Don't tippy-toe this drama stuff. Just dive head first. Numbers are doing fine without throwing specific names. I'm 30 minutes behind. I'm gonna try to speed up some. Damn shame Dan has become a reaction channel. Go viral or die trying. No issues with scalping, but to play devil's advocate, scalpers clearing out shelves in store in front of parents trying to get packs for their kids is a bit cringe. Very different from online resellers. I get it. I get it. I've never been one. I've had wholesale. I don't go to my local Walmarts, even when a certain product is like stonking, even when I could probably go into a local store, even like I don't look, I don't try to do that. I'm a homebody. I don't care to go out and try to do that. But like Pokemon could always just print more, right? But Pokemon could, if they cared enough, they could just print more. They could just, I don't know. It is what it is. Ultimately, think of the children. The children don't realistically need all of this stuff. Honestly, a lot of children would probably be better off for their parents to be spending $4.50 a pack so that they could gamble ripping for Moonbryon. Like, some amount of the household, some amount of the people doing this for their children are skimping on the 529s, on the different investing things for their kids' future. But that's a whole different conversation. Let's see. Out of the homies, who would be the one to get hired by Pokemon? I would say Radar, because he's worked for TikTok. He said he's talking to eBay. He's worked for Whatnot. He's been all over the place in like the higher up space. I guess Charlie too. Charlie Herlocker. He's been all different places, like high levels in Pokemon business related. Will you be investing in Pokemon Pocket sealed product if it's tradable and limited? I don't know. The digital stuff is intriguing. The digital stuff is scary. Cause when I talked about 10 cents to $20, when I talked about where's a booster box? I think I only have an unsealed booster box near me. But yeah, I have a Guardians Rising box open, loose packs in it. But like this box probably cost Pokemon $15 to make, and they sell it for $150, $160. When you talk about 15 into 150, if we start talking digital, it costs them functionally zero to print, to mint more booster product when it's digital. obviously you have development time, you have design time, you have artists making the cards still and all that. But like functionally, the production cost for additional product is 0. That gets a little scary. I've been playing Pokemon Go again recently. My son is getting into it. I love it that my son is getting into it. My daughter, my wife, we all have accounts now. We go, we do raids, we do all this different stuff. It's a little scary how like you look on there and in the digital shop for like $10 they're selling Poke Coins that get you incubators and max revives and all these ultra balls and great balls. It's like that stuff costs them nothing. That stuff costs them development work, development time, branding, IP, all the stuff that they invested. I'm not saying Pokemon is wrong for doing it, but like those type of games are scary how much they can milk out of people. So I will ensure that I do not become a Pokemon Pocket whale, just them milking me for $1,000 a month or whatever. But like that stuff prints big. They might make a ton of money off digital in the future, and they already have with Pokemon Go. I mean, Pokemon is already... Who owns Pokemon? It's Game Freak and it's Nintendo. So Pokemon is owned by Nintendo, Creatures, and Game Freak. Is Game Freak publicly traded? Game Freak stock. So Game Freak, I believe, is private. But I think Nintendo owns a decent amount of Game Freak. I think there's like multiple things going on there. Parts of Pokemon are private, but like there's a decent amount of public company ownership. Let's see if Creatures Inc. is public. Japanese video game company. Maybe that one's not either. I don't know. But I worked for a company that was a private company in my former job. And I think in a lot of, like, I remember having conversations with my boss, with different people in the company about if we were to ever go public. Like, as with everything, there would be pros and cons. But, like, I don't think it would be universally bad or good, but it would be very different. It would absolutely be very different. Team Rocket merch, black shirts with a red R in them were like $60. Yeah. Jet shirts start off on sale. That's funny. Yes, Pokemon, please hire Americans for your Japanese company to sell to China. Oh, man. How much are you charging Fanatics for the forehead tattoo? I mean, there would be a number. Absolutely. Let's see. We have not roasted teams yet. I'll probably roast teams later. Oh, man. People who drafted Jets in the first round are not Jets fans. Absolutely. That's funny. Thanks for looking out for me, Dan. This is where I got into where I was talking about me lowering the prices for people getting into it in 10, 20, 25 years. Thanks, Dan, for hoarding the excess products so I can sell my modern now for break even. Oh man, you love it. You gotta love it. Yeah, if more people invested in 52 mantles, they wouldn't have dumped them in the river or whatever, and they'd be a lot cheaper. Anyone that wants like a little trip down history of the sports world, 1952 Topps was so overproduced, they literally dumped the excess in the ocean. That is some history. Let me see. Were they really dumped? Okay, were they really dumped in the ocean? Maybe it didn't actually happen. This is people on blowout forums talking about how it's a dubious story. Maybe it didn't actually happen. But who knows? Who knows whether that actually happened? Supposedly, Topps printed so much 52 Topps, they dumped all the excess in the ocean. Maybe it never happened. But anyways, Pokemon printed so much excess. Like, in 99, it was not excess. It was not enough. But in 2003, Pokemon had printed so much excess jungle fossil base that they were not selling. They were barely selling for 40 or 50 a box. Are these entire lives red light now? Pretty much. Oh man. Sells off all his bricks to his dad, calls it a time capsule. That's funny. Where's Nat Turner when you need him? Dan, the market isn't affected by you sitting on product that doesn't exist on the market. No one knows it exists. You holding doesn't change the prices if it's not on the market. See, it does though. I am investing in the product. This product will return to the market at a future time, at a future date, yet undetermined. If I am a pure Diamond Hands guy, if I wait for my battle styles to go to 1,000 a box, will it ever? Who knows? If I wait for it to go to 500, 1,000, whatever. Once I decide to list mine, like say we get to a future point, 2030, 2040, 2050, when battle styles is 1,000 a box. If I have 100 boxes and my sell target is 1,000, by the time it gets to $1,000 box, the sell through of that box might be one a month. Hell, it might be one a year. I might have like a decade to a century's worth of sell through. Like not saying that people today are acting differently, the price is changing today because of what I do. But if I diamond hand, like go into the past, take someone who diamond handed team up to 1,000. Someone time capsuled team up to 1,000 and they sold boxes into the market at 1,000. If they didn't sell their 20 boxes at 1,000, if they didn't sell their 50 boxes at 1,000, it would have grown from 1,000 quicker. But like that is just a factual statement. There's no way around that. Rudy, if Rudy has 1,000 boxes, Rudy just made a video. Rudy has over 1,000 boxes of some of these. If Rudy time capsules 2 pallets of boxes, 1,000 boxes into the future 10 years, and a box becomes a $500 box, the day that that Alpha Investments listing goes on eBay, the day that Rudy does that Patreon sale, the day that Rudy lists his TCG player listing and he'll be smart. He'll only list 5 at a time, 10 at a time, 50 at a time, whatever. But the day that he starts listing his 1,000 boxes at 1,000 a box, don't tell me the box won't find a barrier for some extent. Don't tell me the box won't decrease its rate of increase, decrease its rate of gain. Like absolutely, someone carrying 1,000 boxes into the future will absolutely have an effect on the future price trajectory of that item. Today, 1,000 boxes might be consumed a day, but in 10 years, it might be only one. Like Skyridge today, 20 plus years later, Skyridge today, only 1 box is consumed a month, maybe not even. Probably one box a year to 1 box a month approximately are consumed of Skyridge. So whoever invested in it 20, 25 years ago, like if they had done that with 10 cases versus 100 cases, that would make drastic effects on the $50,000 price point today. Like there's no way around that. There's no way around that fact. Creating shortage creates more production equals lower prices in the future. Did I get that right? Yeah, I mean, part of it too, like say I'm starving the market. Say I'm a massive investor. Say I'm investing in 1,000 boxes of a product. If people are investing in the product, starving the market of that product, and Pokemon decides to print more product because of it, you are literally, as an investor, like increasing the print runs today, and you are increasing the amount of sealed product today and in the future. Like, yeah, I don't know. Rudy is absolutely a patron saint of the hobby. I expect you to sell Evolving Skies to every Patreon member at MSRP in 20 years based on this rant. Absolutely not. Oh man. The gaslighting word has come out. Joking, but like not entirely probably. TCV, another one in our league. No, Dad, we're not scalpers. We're helping them, and they'll thank us in the future. And now hit the transfer funds for the pallet. Oh, man. How many ETBs were on the pallet? I'm going to double check now. How many? I don't know how many ETBs were on the pallet. ETB, ETB, ETB. 90 ETBs were on the whole pallet. So 90 ETBs were on the whole pallet. There were 8 UPC cases. There were... How many booster... Oh, wow. There were a lot of booster cases. 60 booster cases were on the pallet. So 60 booster cases and only 9 ETB cases. Talk is talk, walk is walk. Look at my walk. Like, don't listen to me talk, rant, ramble, rave. Look at what I'm doing. And that will be more, like, useful. Non-bearded Dan would never do this. He was a good one. He is gone forever. 4 minutes behind. Dan is unhinged. I miss his 2-megapixel camera and shit Wi-Fi days. Pokemon is absolutely a casino. Oh, I when I said brokies, I am a brokey. I'm putting myself in the brokey class. Absolutely. Oh, good, we're an hour back. I'm catching up rapidly. I'm only 20 minutes behind now. Do you do any consignment on RAWs like Alt Arts and SIR? Absolutely. If you are interested, I can consign your cards raw through eBay or Fanatics, through CGC, PSA, or BGS. If it's through eBay, it needs to be $500 plus cards. If it's through Fanatics, it needs to be ideally $200 plus cards. But I will, yes, I will. You will send them to me raw, and they will be graded and sold. That is an option if you're interested. Just listed my Worlds plushie on eBay. Time to print. Josh K, another one in the league. Nightfall at 400 at 50K print is crazy. Yeah, it happened. Wasn't the issue mismanaged finances? Gaslighting that it was print runs is dark even for you. Calling that gaslighting is super dark. Like, people just throw around the word gaslighting because it's like, I don't know, it's like fashionable to use the word gaslighting, I think. But anyways, mismanaged finances is partially like, overprinting is encompassed by mismanaged finances. I don't know entirely the whole story of Metazoo's demise, but certainly 100,000 UFO, 100,000 Wilderness. I think they did 62,500 from what I had heard, but maybe even more than that, second edition. Those were absolutely a big part of their demise, and overprinting is mismanaged finances. So, like, they go hand in hand. Metazoo launching in the pandemic is the equivalent of getting a 16-year-old a Bugatti as a starter car, too fast and hard to control. Start with a Camry, guys. I think that's a good analogy, I think, because yeah, it's so easy to look at it and say like, oh, well, obviously you would have just done it all right and you would have printed it perfectly, but like actually being in that and navigating that properly, like in that same time frame, didn't Dragon Ball Super have another card game die? Didn't like multiple other card games die? Didn't multiple Kickstarters that funded multi-million dollars also die in that time frame? Metazoo was one that didn't even fund their Kickstarter with like 50 grand or whatever. Zoo Talk 1 hour in, time to go to sleep. Oh man. Dan is just using this metaphor to talk about how he saw Taylor Swift at a fair once. We get it, Dan. I did indeed. I saw Taylor Swift before she was big. I saw her at the New York State Fair opening for Rascal Flatts. I probably paid like $70 for that. And now those tickets go for many, many thousands of dollars. How extreme would the gambling component of Pokemon have to get before you'd get concerned over government intervention? literal money in packs. Yeah, they could never do like they could never do like open this card, we will give you $500 cash. Like that would just literally be scratch offs, pull tabs, whatever you want to call it. As long as they have no direct participation in the secondary market that sets the value of these cards, I think we're relatively safe. I don't think, because if you walk, like I have two kids, 3, almost 4, and then 6 years old. If you walk down the toy aisle, the LOL doll, mystery surprise, the amount of mystery, the amount of like, don't just buy widget, buy a chance at widget is so profitable. Like if you walk down the toy aisle in 2024, there is so much gambling. You can't just buy what you want. You can't just get what you want. Like you buy blind bags of Lego minifigures. You buy blind random mystery, this, that. It's wild. It's pretty crazy. Gambling is so inherent in like so many spaces. Pokemon packs do have literal money in them. See, they don't have literal money. People say literally. Basic is like a teenager here, a teen girl here, saying literally every other word. But like literally, they do not have money in them. They literally have shiny cardboard that is worth a lot of money in them. Very, very different. Figuratively, they have money in them, but it would literally be illegal. It would literally be unregulated, like lotteries and stuff, if they were to put literal dollars in them. Semantics matter when it comes to the law. Pokemon Pocket Packs can't be CT scanned. Moonshot. Yes, absolutely. Dan, how's the basketball training going? You better know how to dunk by the time we 1v1. I am going to start a program in September that is called Error Alert. I'm going to quickly, let me see if I can show this. So if I go to, where are we? If I go to, oh, I think I was supposed to be on this one. I don't know why I've been on the last one so long. But Error Alert, it's called. I know Boondock Games shouted this out. He DM'd me in Discord. I think Rusty mentioned it too. Rusty, if you're listening, Rusty, if you've made it through all this ranting and you're still listening somehow, let me know if Error Alert was the one that you had mentioned. But like, it's this workout program that is made to make you jump higher. It is, from what I read, it's a pretty strenuous thing. I am simultaneously trying to increase my vertical, and I am trying to get to where I can dunk next year at Rusty's. So starting sometime when the school year starts, like maybe late next week, maybe the following week, I'm going to start this 16-week regiment on leap ups, calf raises, step ups, thrust up, burnout, squat hops, all these different things you have to do, how many reps you have to do, how many sets you have to do every day, every week, all that stuff. I'm going to do that to help me lose weight and get more fit, get more vertical, get more high when I jump. So that's going to happen. I will be dunking at Rusty's next year. Consistent. All the stuff that I preach, I'm going to practice what I preach. I've been bad. I am drinking IPAs. I know. I'm still sitting at like 235 to 240. Shout out Bierski. Shout out who. Shout out. We have a little Discord chat going. Java Akuma as well. We are doing like a little weight loss challenge amongst ourselves to see who can lose the most weight in some amount of time. So I will be dunking next year. I will be 15 to 20 pounds lighter, and I will be dunking. So I'm going to increase the vertical by losing weight and by working on the muscles. That's actually a funny thing too. One thing I had on my notes for today, like usually I don't take notes for a live stream. I bought a 20 pack. So I don't know what I paid for all the IPAs. I bought a 12 pack of Juice Bomb IPAs for $20. My local bar sells these for like $7. So this is a 12 ounce. At the bar, it's a pint. So if you do the adjustment, this is 25% less. So if you do $7 minus 25%, you're coming up with like 5 and change. I'm paying more than double. I'm getting scalped for more than double for the same beer I can enjoy in the comfort of my own home. Like, why are bars allowed to exist? They're just scalpers. Restaurants, bars, grocery stores, gas stations. Anytime you buy anything, you are a victim of scalping. We are all victims. It is a wonder that we are existing in the state we are today. We have all persevered through our victimhood of all the scalping that has gone on around us. It is truly an inspiration that we are here in the capacity we are today. That vertical ain't going nowhere. So sometime in the next 2 weeks, I will post publicly my error alert schedule. I have it printed right here. I guess I could have just done this when I did the whole digital thing. I will post my error alert schedule. I will go outside my house. I will jump as high as I can, and I will like slap my hand against the wall. I don't have the fancy NFL Combine vertical jump thing that I can like hit the little spinny thing. But I will measure my vertical jump best I can. I will measure my height, my weight, my standing reach, my jumping reach, all that stuff. And I will publicly, I guess maybe I'll do it a week ahead of time. And I'll publicly challenge anyone that wants to try to increase their vertical jump as much as I do. Do error alert with me. Like one reason that I have the Discord DM with with Java, with Beerski, accountability. It is much easier to do something consistently. Like, one thing I miss about college, one thing I miss about high school is organized sports. The accountability required when you have to show up to practice X amount of days a week, when you have to go and do the thing. When you're an adult, no one is making you do the thing. When you're a kid, the adult is making you eat your vegetables. When you're a kid, your coach is making you run the laps, do the practice, do the thing. When you're an adult, you are the one responsible for that. So shout out to my boys, shout out to Beerski, who and Java. We are being our own accountability buddies, and we are going to be checking in with each other on a weekly basis. We are talking about what we're eating. We're talking about how far we're running. We're talking about our error alert program. We're talking about our weights each week, and we are going to hold each other accountable. So I'm going to go public with it. I'm going to make myself publicly accountable for losing weight, gaining vertical, and dunking next year at Rusty's. I'm saying it so much that it has to happen now. It has to happen. Breece Hall will live up to his first round status. I hope so. Let's see. Yikes. Thrifty. What a homie, Thrifty. Trying to poach people out of, successfully poached people out of, in one of the Discords that I'm in, I see Thrifty successfully poached some people out of my YouTube live stream chat. Thank you, Thrifty, the super homie there. They drafted Braylon Allen for a reason. That's not how it works. Like, I'm not trying to argue against holding, but you thinking you selling your boxes later is helping anyone but yourself is just not true. It's literally making the stuff cheaper for people who buy later. Like, if you can't wrap your mind around that, I'm sorry, I apologize, but like, if you think no one investing, like Beanie Babies today, everyone was investing. Everyone was transporting those into the future. Those are cheaper today because everyone was investing. If everyone invests, it will break, it will die. MetaZoo is cheaper today because too many people relative to the print run were investing, speculating, whatever. MetaZoo was printing too much product. Like, MetaZoo was the one investing in their product because they couldn't sell it all, and they transported it to the future, to their bankruptcy auction. Like, that's just literally the way that it is. If more people hold things into the future, like Moonbryon, PSA 10 Moonbryon. If I grade 100 PSA 10 Moonbryons, let's use Moonbryon because I said it already. Celebrations, Charizard, Moonbryon, whatever. If I grade 1,000 Moonbryons and I keep them all in my possession, and I decide, just fixed, not price related, date related, if I decide to sell my Moonbryons, all 1,000 of them in 2030, starting on January 1st, if I auction all 1,000 of them through Dan, Catch 'em All Collectibles on Fanatics, if I auction all of them through James, ZNG Emporium on eBay, the price will be lower in 2030 than it would have been otherwise. If I do that with 151 cases, if I do that with 151 UPCs, and I sell them on a fixed date in the future, the price on that date will be cheaper than it would have been otherwise. Then if I had just graded 1,000 Moonbreons and sold them all today at market price to individual collectors, some of whom will never sell them again, some of whom will die with them in their collection, some of them will be consumed in the truest sense, never to see the market again. Like that is just literal facts. That is, I don't know how you could refute that. Walrus on the perpetual memes. We have not done the fantasy draft recap. I'll probably do it at some point soon, but I'm still going. I'm still wilding. How was Nightfall 400 when there was annoyingly 50k print? The illusion that it's hard to get. Let me make sure. Let me make sure there was actually, I believe it was 50,000 for Nightfall. I have a sheet that I tracked it with. Yeah, Nightfall was 50,000. Cryptid Nation 2nd edition was 75 supposedly. Cryptid Nation 1st was 25,000. Like, how was it 400? Supply and demand. Like, the amount of people that listed it at the time, that's just what the prices went to. Ray is just here to scalp. It wasn't Scarlet Violet base ETBs. It was, oh man, you're gonna make me fully... It was 4 Crown Zenith ETB cases, 4 151 ETB cases, and 1 Evolving Skies ETB case. Here we go. Ray is now joining my gaslighting team. We are both gaslighting you into the fact that gaslighting is an overused term. You are effectively gaslighted by Raymond and myself. Yes, stop gaslighting me, Ray. I am a victim. Saying the word gaslighting is textbook gaslighting. Oh my god, we are going too deep, too far down the rabbit hole. I can't even handle it. I'm gonna have to recap the draft soon. Let's see. The first good gambly mystery item was a Bionicle's mask in 2001 to 2003, the best. See, I'm a huge Lego guy. I've always loved Lego. My son dabbled in Lego. Like, he got into Lego Mario a bit over a year ago. He's all Pokemon right now, though. Pokemon Go, like opening the cards, wanting to learn to play the game, which once he can read better, he's going into 1st grade. Once he can read better, we will learn the game. But growing up, I was huge into Pokemon. I was huge into Lego as well. Honestly, for like a longer duration, I was into Lego. I wish, like, Pokemon Nano Blocks, Pokemon Mega Blocks, whatever it is, that is blasphemy. We have been robbed of a Pokemon Lego collaboration, because that would be amazing. But I never did get into Bionicle. Yeah, the amount of randomness, the amount of all that stuff in the toy aisle is kind of crazy. Dan getting put on Life Alert for basketball training, shaking my head. Yeah, Life Alert, that like late night infomercial thing when you're super old and you fall, you get that button that you can press, and not Life Alert, but Air Alert. Air Alert. If anyone out there, DM me, hit me up, email me, whatever. I need accountability buddies. I need more. I have Java, Bierski, and Hoo. I need even more so that I do not bail on this program. Because I talked to Boondock Games. This might be the one. Rusty maybe will let me know. He mentioned one of them by name. I can't remember what he said it was. I forget if he mentioned it. He probably mentioned it in Charlotte in person. But maybe it was in a comment section. Maybe I can find it. But anyways, I'm going to do something to increase my vertical and be able to dunk next year. If Rusty made it this far, he might not be a pillar after all. My buddy used that like 20 years ago and increased his vertical 8 inches. So I went to, where was I the other day? I was somewhere the other day that had a basketball hoop. Sadly, I don't have one at home yet, but I will change that. I'll change that. I don't know if I'll get one this fall, but I'll probably get one for the spring. But I went to a basketball hoop. Maybe it was at just the local playground or whatever. I can get here I can get here on the hoop. At Rusty's, at the local playground, I can get my hands here. When you palm a basketball, the basketball sticks to like down here. So I need to increase by that much. To be able to dunk, I need to increase by at least that much. That's probably a solid, like, that I probably need 6, 8, 10 inches to be able to confidently, like, relatively easily dunk. Part of that I plan to do by losing 20 pounds. And then part of that I plan to do by increasing the force with which I can jump and being able to jump higher. But at 6'5", nearly 6'4" 3/4, the fact that I can't dunk is kind of sad. It's been over a decade, I think, since I've dunked. It's like Japanese pachinko, where you don't earn money since that's illegal, but you can exchange those winnings for money across the street. Yeah. This man is hyper optimizing to be able to jump 5 inches so he can touch the rim. I can definitely touch the rim already. I can get to about there, but I need to be able to get to about there. The best time to start is now. I'll start next week. Part of me starting next week, it is like, you should just start today. Do it, fatty. Just do it now. I get that. But I think it will be, I know it will be easier to do when my kids and my wife are at school. I will start my day each day like being like, I was bad last year. I was bad. I was working nights. I was with my daughter during the days. I was sleeping as late as I could. I was waking up when I needed to. This year, this school year, I will be getting up. I will be sending off my kids and wife, and I'll be going for a quick run. I'll be doing my air alert thing. I will be doing something, and then I'll shower, and then I'll start my workday. So I'll probably be like starting my work days at like 9 or so, waking up at 8, sending everyone off, doing my thing, getting a breakfast, and then starting my day at 9. Whereas today, as of right now, it's 12:40. I'm drinking IPAs. My wife will graciously let me sleep till 9:30 or 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, probably. I will not work as much as I should. I'm being bad right now. I know that. Don't be me. Don't be me. Is this straw man? I don't know what I was saying at the time, but it might have been. If I'm straw manning, call me out. Dan windmill highlight incoming. I work at a brewery. The amount of margin they're making the beer to selling in-house or supermarket beer costs almost nothing to make. That you guys are monsters. I can't believe what scalpers you are. You guys should sell it. Nothing more than a 20% margin is moral or reasonable. Anything above that is obvious scalping. If you know you have a few close friends who will get on your ass and roast you for being lazy, you will get up and do it. Absolutely. Like back in college, it was so much easier too. Like, you could just send out a message to the group chat. Like, hey, you want to go throw a frisbee around? You want to go play some basketball? You want to go to the courts and play some racquetball, play some squash? There were so many more people, so much more accessible. Even pre-kids, I would once a week, I'd play pick up softball with my cousins and friends and family. I would play kickball. I would play basketball. Like, it was so much easier to do things 10, 15 years ago. It's harder. As a 34-year-old balding man, it is harder to be consistent and be regular with this kind of stuff. So having accountability buddies is nice. In the voice chat and talking trash, Dan. I believe it. I know what Spicy's all about. Spicy's all about being in Discords, late night voice chats, not making any money, complaining about stuff. Record that in super slow motion. That way the human eye can see you get off the ground. We need the slow-mo cam. Yeah, we need like 1,000. We need 1,000 frames per second to see that split second that I'm off the ground. This is absolutely IPA Dan. This is I'm nursing this one, but this is 6th IPA Dan. I don't want to have to go to the bathroom, so I'm nursing this one. Does this guy play the TCG or just invest? He can't read. Investing doesn't work because MetaSuit died. Brad's paraphrasing. Brad, your paraphrasing is gaslighting me, you monster. Clearly he doesn't look at chat. I do look at chat clearly because I like almost the whole live chat. There's a live chat quote on the screen. So clearly I look at it just very delayed. I apologize, Sunny Cal John. I am 10 minutes behind currently. If you type right now, I will see it in less than 10 minutes. Walrus, you are always quick with the great quips. He absolutely is. Lowest price is the market price. Got to be thankful for spot price buyers and sellers. Yeah, one interesting thing. Like, not only Mason, if you're there listening, like, you might not like this even further. Not only do investors lower the future price, helping the consumer, investors help the consumer. Investors, flippers, scalpers help the consumer that have something they don't want. We are your out. I will buy you out at 70 to 80%, depending on what you have. I'm an evil scalper. I'm an evil monster that profits in your hobby, in your joy, in your passion. But I will help you liquidity-wise, like non-fungible, all that stuff. We are an illiquid, non-fungible market. But scalpers, flippers, investors, like all those people that do business in the space help your liquidity, which matters. If this stuff doesn't have value, doesn't have liquidity, that hurts you as a consumer. Unless you are, again, if you are the truest of true collectors who will never sell anything. I wonder how you found your way here 2 hours into a Catch 'em All Collectibles live stream. But like, if you are that person, I guess you are harmed by scalpers, by flippers, by speculators, by investors. But like, I am the exit plan of so many people that are buying their first house, that are buying their first car, that are buying, and certain people, certain deranged people will say that people are being victimized. Oh my God, you sold for 70%? I can't believe it. You were scammed. You should have sold for 100% because that's 100% is the full number. Why would you sell for less than the full number? When you get instant guaranteed liquidity at 70 to 80 to 85 to 90% of your stuff, just like guaranteed cash, done, no fees, no nothing, no 1099. Not going to get into that. But the amount of bad takes out there are just wild. The amount of bad takes out there are insane. It's truly insane. Some of the victimhood that's out there. That's all it is. Scalping. That's victims. Some people will go through their entire life not and this is like not like there's any personal response, like that's I guess I'm being a little bit overly harsh in some respects on that, because like, but there are people that are just perpetual victims in situations that make no sense whatsoever. They will always just point the finger outward, even if they made bad decisions, even if they I've made that rant so many times. I don't need to go too much further down that rabbit hole. But anyways, he gets a little buzz, and next thing you know, he's an hour and a half behind chat. I'm gaining on chat. I'm only 9 minutes behind right now. I need accountability. Come, Dad, get this pallet with me. Now I get it. Yeah, I delivered the pallet to him in my minivan. I delivered the pallet to him in my Kia Carnival minivan, for your information. Dan was guarded by PK. He wants to embarrass him further by dunking on him. See, I said that. I made that explicitly clear. I do not intend, or do I think I will be able to dunk on any person. I want to be able to dunk in pregame warm-ups after like a 10, 15 minute stretch yoga session, maybe. Imagine being so embarrassed you can't jump where you don't want to do it around your family. Oh man, that's funny. I saw people saying that it is hard on your joints and it's this, that. You know what else is hard on your joints? Like one of the biggest criticisms of Air Alert was that it's hard on your joints. What else is hard on your joints is being 34 and doing almost no physical activity whatsoever. Like I was borderline obese at 250. I'm on my way down sub 240 now, heading down to 220. What is also bad on your joints is being way too overweight for way too long. So like if I have to go through a little bit of a beating, and please hold me to this. If I'm on a live stream in 10 weeks, in 6, 4, 6, 10, whatever weeks, if I say that I'm here and I'm having a hard time, say that, Dan, you said you were going to do it, man up and do it. Just get it done. It's like, please hold me accountable. I hope I don't have to come back and say that I was a failure. I couldn't do it. On week 7, I just couldn't do 4 sets of 30 leap ups. That sounds like a lot. Week 15 is 8 sets of 50 leap ups. That sounds like a real lot. I'm getting a little scared now reading this too close. But yeah, anyways, some of these days, I like talk about jumping. Talk about Spicy Boys TV jumping in the chat. On the final week, no, week 15, 407, 9, 15, 1700. So in week 15, 1700 times I will be jumping. I will jump 1700 times a day, approximately 15 weeks from the start. So approximately 17, 18 weeks from now, I will be jumping over 1,000 times a day. That's a little crazy. That's a little scary. Not just twice. I will be fit for the Spicy Boys super spicy Discord that they have. Super spicy, super secret. Someone link it in the chat. It's about time Dan admitted to being bad. I've admitted so many times to being old and overweight and balding and bad in a lot of ways. Like, did you not watch my Medizu live stream when Medizu died? I played that clip from Happy Gilmore. I'm dumb, you're smart, I'm ugly, and you're very good looking, and all those different things that he was saying to Chubbs. Let's see. So Cliff is Big Red from Old Skool's lives. Walrus is the same Walrus, absolutely. After speaking in tangents, he'll answer us after it's irrelevant. I'll bail you out and pay 70%, aka rip you off. If you want 70 to 80, it's here. If you don't, buy or buy. Sell or don't sell. Like, sell or buy. I don't care. I don't care. But what happens to the price? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, people get mad and salty at people for buying at only 70, 75, 80, 85%. It's like, what amount is the proper amount? Why are you not buying at that amount? What amount is the proper amount of margin to make? Why are you not selling your collection? Why are you not selling your cards, your merch you bought at that store? Why are you not beating the scalpers by selling it at an appropriate margin? If nobody's buying at 70%, then it's 60%, then it's 50%, then it's... There are certain things, there are certain hobbies, there are certain markets where there aren't buyers in mass at 70. I wonder if my wife has texted me. I have text. Let me see if they're my wife. Oh no, I have no text from my wife. So she's either sleeping or I'm not being too bad. She's probably sleeping and I'm probably being really bad, to be fair. True collectors would never be able to collect the cards they want without scalpers. No TCG player, no LGS. Have to trade with friends, and if you play fantasy football, you know everybody overvalues their team. Absolutely. Preach, Mega Evo Mart. I'm going to sleep. Someone let me know how I executed the perfect draft. Oh, man. You sit for 8 hours and these are probably fine. I'm 100% on your side, Walrus. I am way too sedentary in my normal life. If I do this for half an hour to an hour a day, every day for 4 months, my knee, like, I will be just fine. I'm quite certain. I'm quite certain. I'm not trying to complain about it. I'm talking about the reviews that I read, and some people saying, oh no, don't do that. It's this, it's that. I'm going to do it. I've committed to doing this, or like, it's probably going to be this one. I've looked into it a fair bit. How dare you make a profit? Buy at 95% and the insults will stop. The insults will stop and I will go bankrupt. Just like if Pokemon were to print to demand, the insults would stop and within 5 years the TCG would be dead. I'm a seller of Dan increasing his vertical 5 inches. DM me your best card for my best card. Only one with common sense and tapped out. I am fully caught up. I'm fully caught up. Yes, so my simulations, I will show this in a little bit. Let me get some screen grabs going. So shout out to Spat. I don't know if Spat is in here, but I guess we'll go into the live. We'll go into the draft recap here in a second. Let's see. So Oaks thing. Let me go into the voice chat. So I'm going to save a couple images so that I can pull them up. So we did a live draft for a Pokemon League earlier. I will show our whole draft results. Well, very quickly. Like, if people want to pause, if people want to look at it, if people really want to dissect it, they can. But let me add images. I think what I'm gonna do, I need to go to the bathroom because I've had some IPAs. I want to crack into a new one. I just finished that one. I'm gonna throw on screen my fantasy draft results, and if you want to look at it while I'm gone, you can, and then I will be back in 1 minute to discuss with you. I will show you 3 separate things. I will show the draft results, and then I will show you so there's the draft results. Yeah, you probably won't be able to see that, is the issue. Let's start with my team, because my team is going to win anyways. Let's start with my team the first several rounds. That's my team the first several rounds. I'm going to go pee. I'll be right back. But we'll talk we'll talk fantasy in a minute. So I'm back. As you can see, Jamar Chase was my first pick. 7th pick in the draft in a 12-man league. So let's go through the all-stars. Let's go through everyone in the league. Let me minimize this this is so cumbersome to try and show. But here's our league. Bierski, Maki, TCV, Josh K, PokeBB, E-Unit, Stonk Dog in 42069, as he goes by in Discord. Catch 'em all, see as me. Spat, L-Dubs, B-Mural, goes by Super Saiyan. Mrs. Ketchum, my wife. Drew OP number one mod in the game. So it's an all-star lineup of people in the league. I did take Jamar Chase with my first pick. We had a standard number one pick out of Kevin, Christian McCaffrey. One thing he did that I told him as we did it live, it was actually fun. We hung out in Oak's voice chat for the live draft. He took McCaffrey first, which I would have done. On the turn, on the way back, he actually had the ability to take Kelsey and Mahomes as a pair, on because you go this way down and this way back in a snake draft. He had back-to-back picks. He took Kelsey and Mahomes. I would have done the same thing. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. But overall, I'm happy with my team. A lot of talk can happen, just like in Pokemon. People will endlessly talk and talk and talk. So much luck is involved, just like in Pokemon. There is so much luck involved in what happens in a fantasy football season. But like, once it happens, it will have been obvious, blah, 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 blah. But people will talk and talk and talk. It'll be interesting to see how the walk goes. This is my all-star lineup. And one thing I will say, so shout out to Spat. Spat is the guy who like manned the league. He's the main guy who ran it. And let me put up the predictions that he has some fancy app. He has some fancy way to predict who will score and who will do the best and this and that. This was his prediction. DynastyDaddy.com, apparently. So according to DynastyDaddy.com, Team Catch-em-all C will get an 11-1 record and will have a 99% chance of making the playoffs. And it will have a 43% chance of winning it all. I, for one, if I could bet against those odds, like if you were to extrapolate those odds into like Vegas numbers, and if you were to attribute a money line plus whatever, I would bet against me. This thing is projecting me as such a favorite. It blows my mind. I don't understand it. I would bet against me at these odds. 99% chance to make playoffs is wild. A 43% chance to win the league in a 12-man league is wild. Like 8% by just pure random chance would be anyone's odds to win the league. For it to give me a 43% chance is obscene. Drew P coming in second, L-Dubs, Pokey BB, Josh K, then Bye Week. Bye Week is my wife, Mrs. Ketchum. That's been her fantasy football league name for quite some time. Let me switch to the bottom half of the league, and then I'll go back into Pokemon onto the next thing. You have Makisaur, E-Unit, TCV Collectibles, Spat, Super Saiyan TCG, and Bierski. Bierski bringing it up last. So I'm going to be super excited. Like, some amount of my live streams in the future, I will do some trash talking. Some amount of live streams in the future, I'll be ranting and raving about what happened in fantasy football. I'm super excited for the year. But yeah, I'm really excited for the year. I'm really excited to be in a league. $250 we did the league. Individual weekly payouts. We got a bunch of people in Pokemon that I talk to all the time. Like just earlier in this live stream, I saw TCV in chat. I saw Maki in chat. I saw a lot of different people in chat. Could you not have gotten better QB value later? In hindsight. So that's one of the things I say all the time. I forget who I was talking about, but live in the chat, we were all in Discord voice during the draft. In hindsight, in like round 8 or 9 or 10, I was like, dang, the quarterbacks that are available in this round now, I wish I didn't draft one so early. It's so easy to do in hindsight, but like you don't know who's going to be available when. All you know is who is available now at the time you're drafting, and you navigate and you draft based on that. Just like the Pokemon market, like in 5 years, it will be so easy to look back and say, oh, I wish I bought more Evolving Skies. I wish I bought more Team Up. I wish I bought more this, more that. Oh, well, it had the evolutions. It had Umbreon. It was obvious. Like, I should have just done that. It had Gengar and Mimikyu. It was obvious. I should have done that. It all becomes obvious in hindsight. And in hindsight, at the end of the year, I will say, yes, obviously, this person, Puka Nakua last year, was great value in the 15th round. Like, it's so easy to say what could have been this or that, but like, that's what makes it fun. What makes it fun in Pokemon investing and speculating, what makes it fun in fantasy football is the large amount of variance, the large amount of luck in all this. If it was all skill, it wouldn't be super fun. Shout out Ernesto, one of the two pillars of the Spicy Boys TV channel. He plays chess. You know how much it sucks to play chess against someone who's a lot better than you? I can play fantasy football against someone who's a lot better than me, and I can beat them. I have a chance. I feel like chess is like, if you are significantly worse, you will just have the floor wiped with yourself. Magnus Carlsen will just beat you a million games in a row. If you're playing poker, though, you can beat Phil Ivey. You can beat, I'm going to name like really, you can beat Annie Duke. You can beat really, what's that? Trying to think of some more super dating me, like 20 years old, who used to be good at poker. I can't think of anyone else, but anyways, you can beat Phil Ivey at poker if you just get really lucky draws in your hand. You can't beat Magnus Carlsen. Pokemon investing, there are big businesses. There are a lot of people who have been around for a long time who think they know a lot of things, and who you can beat a lot of other people with just patient capital. With just long time horizons. You can beat people who know what they're doing more so than you do by just having more time, having more patience, and some amount of luck. Like if you just are going up against somebody who goes broad into everything, and you just go into that one lucky one that they don't reprint, you can really get like outsized gains. So it's always fun because of the randomness. If the Fed cuts, how does it affect the pricing of the Dan promo? Unrelated. If I lost my Dan promo when I moved, is it still valid? It's valid to whoever finds it and then sends it to me. Yes. Did I skip a lot of chat? If I skipped your chat, I apologize. I didn't intend to. I was just over half an hour behind before. Zard looking, please repost your question and I will get to it. 2,000 calf raises takes a while. There's never 2,000 of anything in a day, but like week 15 on Monday, I will have to do 400 leap ups, 200 calf raises, 100 step ups, 200 thrust ups, 1,500 burnouts, and 200 squat hops. I looked at a quick video of what all those were, but I still don't entirely know what all those are. And the way that it works is, so odd weeks, I'll do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, rest on the weekend. Even weeks, I'll do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, rest for like 4 days, I guess. Week 8 is an entire rest week. I'm really interested to see how it goes. But yeah, I didn't consciously skip anything. I apologize. They're looking. Justin Jefferson would have been better than Chase, but he got taken right before you went. I was surprised I had the option between Jefferson and Chase. As the guy ahead of me was drafting, I said I'm happy to get either Jefferson or Chase. Like, I was very happy, honestly. If I lose 1 week, who cares? Like, the weeks that matter are week 15 to 17. So as long as I have them later, I'm good. He's cutting back. I think his limit might be just 8. I will probably have 4, 7. I will probably have 8 IPAs tonight. Yes. Yes. I mean, if you draft, like you are either gonna have strong wide receivers and weak running backs, so like you can't get everything, right? Your team is going to be weak somewhere, but overall, somehow that website that that Spat has somehow ranked me as like a 99%. I would vote against me being a 99%. Like if I could bet a lot of money that I am not a 99% chance to make the playoffs. Like I think and I hope I'll make the playoffs, but if you could play out 100 alternate universes with different injuries and different this and that, I don't think I would make the playoffs in 99 of them. That's crazy. Her own name is Bye Week. So Bye Week is a name that she's had for a long time, several years in several different leagues. But prefacing the loss by saying luck is involved. I drafted a tight end way too high. I liked Laporta where I got him. I honestly wanted Kelsey. I'm a big Chiefs guy. I'm a Jets guy number one. But like usually by 4 plays into the season, the Jets are usually eliminated from playoff contention. So I'm usually rooting for the Chiefs. The main reason for that being that I don't want Brady to be the GOAT. I want Mahomes to win the next 5 Super Bowls consecutive so that Brady's not the GOAT. That is how much I dislike the Patriots and Brady. Oh, I forecast my chances of missing the playoffs at closer to like, I mean, if you look at it in the truest sense, it's a 12-man league. Well, 12-person league. We do have 2 women in the league. It's a 12-person league, and 6 people make the playoffs. So by like the truest, if it's all random, I have a 50% chance of making the league, of making the playoffs. 50% chance of missing. I think I did well. I think my odds of missing the playoffs are only 30%. To say they're only 1% though, I am not that confident. I don't know why the computer is that confident. That's insane. Like 99% chance to make the playoffs is just stupid. I highly question that AI, that whatever it is. Maybe they saw Catch 'em all see and Mrs. Catch 'em. Maybe they factored in the collusion. My other league is only $100. This league is $250. No collusion, none of that going on. Absolutely not. We already talked about that. There will be rulings made by Bierski by Spat if I try to trade. 99% chance of winning IRS. Enter the chat. Daniel Negreanu, Gus Hansen. I'm familiar with some of these names. Yes, Mario Party is fun and frustrating as hell to some extent because of the randomness. Doyle Brunson is the old dude that I was trying to think of. Yes. I would have taken. So in hindsight, it will be interesting to see how Mahomes and Kelsey would have panned out. Mario Party gambling would be awesome. You should do the MetaZoo push-ups challenge on September 1st. I have one of your MetaZoo etched Earth Aura promo card and I'm never cashing it in. It's epic. I appreciate you. Dan will do a MetaZoo dunk challenge wearing a red shirt. You know what's hot? 2024 Skybox Metal Avengers. The precious metal gems are pure fire. The market's going bananas. There are so many different things where the market's just going nuts. So I'm fully caught up with chat again. It is now 1:10 a.m. I'm now 2 hours and 10 minutes in. The other bit of drama that I wanted to like briefly talk about, briefly throw in my unsolicited 2 cents. It's so silly, it's so dumb. But like I watched a little bit about the drama around that one kid, that one guy. I don't know how old he was. I think he was in Masters. He made some kind of a celebration and got ejected. He won his, I believe it was the matchup where he was top 8 going into top 4. So had he won it properly and not been banned, he would have gotten a trophy card. So you're talking about like he would have gotten between cash prizes and physical prizes. He would have gotten like 50 grand plus probably between the physical trophy, the cash, and the card. And the top 8 and the top 4 quarterfinalist, semifinalist stamped cards. So he made some gesture. The biggest thing that I try to go to, and I'm not perfect, no one is, I don't try to be, but like I try to be the best I can, but no one can be perfect. I try to just be as rational and logical as I can be in all situations. And if I'm ever not being rational or logical, please call me out. Absolutely, please call me out. I definitely can think of times where I've not been perfectly rational, reasonable, calm, like lacking emotion. But I don't know. You don't know. I don't know. He knows. He knows what motion he made. Was he shaking dice? Was he making a sexual thing? I don't know. The way that I go on a thing like this, I think we should all find common ground. Like some people are like, think of the children, he should have been banned, absolutely. Most people in this space, most people in YouTube that I've heard, we're all younger, around my age or younger probably. I think most of us are like, he shouldn't have been banned. But like, let's start with the agreement. Let's find common ground in that there are certain things that should be bannable. I think you and I, the watcher, should be able to agree that there are certain things that should be bannable. If he punched a ref, whatever they call them, referees or umpires, judges, whatever they call them, if he had punched a judge, a referee, an umpire, he should have been banned and lost his spot. If he punched his opponent, he should have been banned and lost his spot. So we are all in agreement that there are certain actions that could be taken that would justify ejection. We're all in agreement there. Any sane, rational, logical person should be in agreement that there are certain actions at the final table in a Pokemon World Championship. I don't care what you did to get here. You need to like control yourself and handle yourself with some amount of respect and reasonableness and whatever on that stage. Was he making emotion, like portraying some act? I don't know. Again, I don't know. You don't know. He probably knows. That's where it's speculation. It's like we can agree that there are certain things that should get someone banned. Was that though? I think personally, if he was doing that sexual act, if he was portraying that on stage in the top 8 of a Pokemon World Championship, largely a children's playing card game, I think he should be banned. If he was fist pumping, if he was shaking dice, if he was whatever, I don't think you should be banned for fist pumping. I don't think a fist pump should be deemed excessive celebration. I don't think I got a lucky roll to win the game, so I'm gonna roll the dice to like show how lucky I was to win the game, how good whatever. I don't think those things should ban you. I think intentionally mimicking a sexual act on TV, on a stream, in a world championship match, like that would probably, doing that in an NFL game would probably get you ejected from the game. You would probably forfeit like 1 game's worth of salary if you were to and it's happened before. People mimicking mooning, people mimicking certain different acts, and like the Key and Peele. If anyone's watched that Key and Peele skit, which is hilarious, the guy puts his hand up here and he's like thrusting, and the ref has his whistle in his mouth, and the ref zooms in. He's like, one more, and you're gone. And then the ref zooms in, and he thrusts one more time, and he gets ejected, whatever. Like that's honestly one of the first things I thought about when I saw the whole drama, the whole thing. Is like, I don't know what the kid was doing. It sucks. In a way, hopefully, almost, he was dumb enough to have been doing that, and he was justly banned. It would be kind of sad if he wasn't intending to do that and got banned. But like, it made me think of that Key and Peele skit. If anyone hasn't seen that, it was hilarious. Please, like, let me Google that really quickly. I'm not gonna show it because I'll probably get Key and Peele football celebration. McCringleberry's excessive celebration. Watch that. It's a 4-minute video. I'm not gonna stream it. I'm not gonna get like demonetized over it. But it's got 26 million views. It's got 26 million views from 10 years ago on Comedy Central's YouTube. Hilarious. It made me think of that. It made me think of the excessive celebration penalty in that. But my take is, in all that drama, none of us know. But if he intended to do that, it was a just ban. If he didn't intend to do that, it's an unfortunate circumstance, and he shouldn't have been banned for rolling the dice or for fist pumping. So that's my whole thing. That's my whole thing. They're not injecting someone from an NFL game for that. Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, yeah, but not ejection. Well, all the different commentary around it, I listened to a little bit of it, probably not all of it, but like Josh, Old Card Shop, was very insistent on a finish part of it. Like, if someone were to get extremely vulgar with it, if someone in the NFL got very explicit, very like obviously what was happening, I could see a game ejection. If someone really prolonged it, really did it to the extreme. So maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe it wouldn't be an ejection, but it would absolutely be a 15-yard penalty, yellow laundry on the field. But anyways, like an action demands a reaction. I stand with Pokemon. Let's see. Let me scroll back and see what people thought of that take. My take earlier on the Pokemon scalping thing is like, it's just ironic. It's interesting that Pokemon is allowed to upcharge so much based on their production cost, and then when someone starts doing it themselves, when Pokemon is fully within their ability to just print more of it, produce more of it, it's interesting how people get demonized, but the company doesn't. And I am very much not like an eat the rich guy. I'm very much not like an anti-capitalist guy. I'm very pro America. I'm very pro the American dream is live and well. I'm very pro capitalism. But it's just interesting how us, as I said 2 hours ago, I said us brokies will like tear each other apart over all this, while Pokemon and eBay and Fanatics and PSA and BGS and CGC, all these companies up here, they get away with murder. And in the second we do anything is like, we just roast each other over it. It's wild. And then this whole drama thing, like, if he was intentionally doing that, knowingly doing that on stream in front of thousands of people, many thousands being minors, I think it was just. I truly think if you are that dumb to imitate that act, ban. Fully fair. He signed I've never been at the final table in Worlds. I'm quite confident he would have signed some kind of a code of conduct, some kind of a code of ethics, and very likely the code of ethics, code of conduct would have had some kind of a thing like Pokemon reserves the right to have full judge, jury, executioner judgment on all these kinds of things. And yeah, Pokemon deemed it that way. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's sad if he was celebrating in his own weird way, trying to do something else. But it's not that sad if he was doing what people think he was doing. And it's not that sad of a story if he was doing that. That is very dumb to do. That is very dumb to do on stream with thousands watching. Many, many kids. Rolling the dice. Oh God. That gesture was gross. Good for Pokemon for banning him. There was zero cupping, for God's sake. That's what happens when you highlight Mr. Walrus comment without fully vetting the comment. If he was like, yeah, the whole Hawk Tua thing that became like a worldwide sensation. Very, very different. So a drunk group of women being interviewed on the street downtown when the bars close, in an adult setting being interviewed by an adult. Very different situation from I don't know if he was 20, 15, somewhere between seniors and masters, I think. Very different when you are on stream in front of live. Hers was recorded, I believe. I don't think it was live. Very different being on stream, playing the Pokemon trading card game in front of thousands of people and being interviewed drunkenly at 2 a.m. after the bars close. Very different. No, there's a time and a place for everything. There's a time and a place for everything. Top 8 at Worlds is not the place for that. The shaking dice theory is enough reasonable doubt for me. Yeah, I mean, as I said, the Pokemon probably requires people to sign a document that basically states, we will make all rulings are final. We don't know. You and I, we were not in the conversation between the judges and the individual in that moment. Maybe there was no conversation. I think it would be bad if there was no conversation. If I were judge, jury, and executioner, and I had someone flag to me, hey, this kid just did this on stream, go talk to him, go inquire what was up, I would just be like, hey, what was that thing you did after your win? I would show him the clip, and I would give him a very short amount of time to explain himself. If I did not hear quickly that, oh, well, I had that lucky dice roll 2 times in a row, so I was shaking the dice. If I got that explanation very quickly without any delay, I would be like, okay, let's tell him what that could have been construed as, and let's give him a heavy warning, and let's continue on. That is your second strike immediately. One additional thing, and you're gone. Done, over with. Whereas if he kind of laughed and said, oh, and didn't know what to say, and like context matters, none of us have it. So the amount of people who will voice these extremely like, this is the only way, and this is what I'm saying and why, and without the information is just crazy. Like, we don't have the information, we don't know. But context matters. I think how he would have responded to having that brought up by the judges. I think if it was an outright ban without him having been consulted whatsoever, that gets a lot more iffy. But I don't know that was the case. I genuinely don't know. Everyone's too soft nowadays. One of those like statements that I know many people that are not too soft. You cannot say everyone's too soft. Some amount of people are. Some amount of people need to be softer than they are. So like all these broad statements about, yeah, not every single person in the world is too soft. I promise you. It's a children's card game. You don't want that in front of kids, period. Absolutely. Yeah, this whole everyone's too soft. It's the snowflakes that were upset, not the kids. Like, I probably shouldn't get into it. There are absolutely people that are not too soft. That's all I can confidently say. Anything further will not be useful, I don't think. Yeah, like Zard looking has kids. If my kid, there are times that I've slipped up and said something in front of my kids that I shouldn't have said, and sometimes they've caught it and sometimes they haven't, and it's like quickly trying to get them onto the next thing and not having to go through and explaining it. But like if a kid sees something, there's a decent chance they're going to imitate it. There's a decent chance they're going to ask like, oh, what does that mean? What was he doing? Like that just, yeah, it whatever. Kids are smart too. If kids ask you what something means and you say, oh, don't worry about it, you'll know when you grow up, they get very inquisitive and they become like it puts a spotlight on it and it becomes like, oh no, don't worry about it, it's nothing. They will care more what it is. They will care more. I mean, you're just making things up. If a chick did that, they wouldn't have gotten banned. You're just saying that. You're just saying that if a chick did exactly the same motion in exactly the same way, there's a decent chance she would have gotten banned, I think. I don't know. Yeah, all hypothetical. You don't know that as a fact. Absolutely. I'm not a eat the rich kind of guy. I agree. You give off eat the poor kind of vibes. Oh my god. That's funny. Oh no, Metazu Menace, did you miss my whole rant on the scalping thing? Literally, my thing is titled on scalping. So this other thing, I'm talking about it in the latter half. Like, if you truly believe the scalping was a problem, don't buy it. That's my take on it. Like, buy or buy. Don't buy, B-U-Y or B-Y-E. Don't buy it, and it's not a problem. This is not water. This is not toilet paper. This is not surgical masks and hand sanitizer. Anyways. At the high level, literally 2/3 of the not by quantity of players. I think Masters is the biggest division by far, but like 2/3 of the awarded tiers are minors. So I don't know the exact ages, but I think juniors is like 12 and under, seniors is like 13 to 17, and then masters is 18 plus. Literally 2 out of the 3 major tiers are minors. Anyways, this is not going to go anywhere. Yes, they have divisions with adults being the minority. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, sorry, Rusty. If you're still here, I apologize. Oh, did he? Like, do we actually know that? If he admitted that it was what we thought it was, deserved a ban. So dumb. It's like, yeah, that is how anyone could be against that. I don't know. And that's the thing. Like, it doesn't offend me personally, but to do that in that context, in that space, is just so dumb. And absolutely, there would be code of conduct. There would be all that kind of stuff. Oh man. Okay, I'm being gaslighted. Help. I'm gonna wrap up here. I went down a dark path and gaslit, I think, would be the proper terminology. I went down a dark drama path, but I had a fun night. I think it's interesting and useful to talk about these drama things. Like, I know Brad's gonna be in here calling me a drama llama, but I think the drama is often born out of an interesting situation, and it's very interesting when a lot of people are divided on a certain topic, and a lot of times it comes down to like a definition. It comes down to how we define things differently, whether it's like major topics that people are divided on politically or whatever. In the Pokemon space, the whole the scalping thing was the major topic of today. Like, that has come up time and time again. I've been full-time for over 3 years. That's at least like the 5th time that it's come up solidly, and I wanted to cover that. Like, why can Pokemon do everything they're doing? Why can all the different businesses we deal with in our life do what they do at the margins they do, and then the second an individual does it, it's bad, it's wrong. It's like, you are not entitled to anything at any fixed price. MSRP is arbitrary. The fact that Pokemon deems MSRP on a skateboard at 150 or 250, whatever it is, that's arbitrary. You are not entitled to that item at that price. If Pokemon wanted you to have that item at that price, they would make 10 times as many, 100 times as many, 1,000 times as many. The reason they don't is because if they made enough of everything, people wouldn't want it as much, and they would make less money because of it. The profit maximizing strategy of a monopoly is underproduction. I'm TLDWing. I'm summing up like the total 2.5 hour live stream. But it was a fun chat. It was fun. I've lost like 10 pounds. I have 20 more to go, so hopefully it'll get better. But I have lost a little bit. Thanks for reading my cupping comment. Live highlight for everyone. I disagree with all sides on everything. There you go. Everyone is wrong about everything. I am the only one who is right on everything. Good night, everyone. Glad we solved all the world's problems. Absolutely. As always, I appreciate you all watching. I don't know how you made it to the end of 2.5 hours, but I'm here for it. You were here for it.